How do aliens, E.T.s, throw a party? There are many E.T.s here excited that this question has come forward. The first thing to share is that beings in higher dimensions, in their ability to be more aligned with their sourceness and their perspective being broader and not as narrowed in as yours, are basically having a party every day because they are deeply, intuitively connected to Source at all times. Even when they're focused on other things, they can feel the sourceness of those things, of themselves and of their collective at the same time. This is where the human species is headed. This will not happen tomorrow, but this is the journey that you're on, is to come back into oneness and to be more aware, to reawaken from this individualized, separate experience to being Source and being one. In addition to this, there are E.T. species who love to combine, come together, join together with not just their species, but also other species, and enjoy communing with each other. This may be in just being around each other. This can feel like a party as you think of it. This could be a specific gathering to celebrate something. It could be a gathering to work together. Work feels like a party as well. So there are many, many forms of partying happening on higher dimensions. These celebrations may include certain ceremonies or forms of entertainment. They may include imbibing in certain liquids as a form of celebration, as a form of ceremony, because many species do not need to eat as humans do or drink, that they get their nourishment from other sources, such as what you would consider plant species, what you would consider the sun, what you would consider the atmosphere, or perhaps the planetary energies. Many of these things are happening. So it would be more of a ceremonial drink or toast as you think of it. It may include games to play. These, of course, are quite different in nature because humans and their separate experience can be surprised, can enjoy the joy of not knowing and discovering because of their separate experience, which is a very special aspect of the physical plane that you are exploring right now in your separation point of view. This is something to be savored. Whereas where we speak from, we are very aware all the time, and so the form of surprise is not an available opportunity to us as it is to you. Nonetheless, we can still play games where we share energy, we combine energy, we create things with energy. Maybe individual beings share energies with us in the form of entertainment that you would think of as dance and song and art. All of these things are happening. We would like to answer this question by saying that we don't necessarily have a joke that we can share in a way that it would make sense to you. However, because these are of higher vibrational energies and words don't give us a vehicle, don't give us a sufficient vehicle to express this. And we would like to share that we love human jokes. We love watching other species and seeing what they find funny and learning from this perspective. We enjoy this because, again, a joke has both an element of surprise and a truth in it. And it's a form of discovery, of validation, perhaps irony. And therefore it tells us much about a species, often more than other forms of direct communication. There is so much to be learned. This is why humans enjoy jokes so much. And there are other species who are at your level of vibration who also enjoy jokes. Yes, we would love that experience. Now, of course, we can tune into this experience in you and other humans as you have these experiences, and feel emotions and some aspects of the physical experience you experience when you're on a roller coaster. This is how we have learned to support you, by tuning into what you are experiencing it and understanding it from your point of view, which again is our greatest honor, one of our greatest challenges, and one of our deepest excitements. And so we already have a sense of what this means vibrationally, because we live more in a vibrational world, whereas you live in a more solid physical experience. Now, for the E.T.s that have been readying themselves to come to the planet to commune with you in your experience, so therefore they would have to lower their vibration to be with you on your planet. For those E.T.s, they are excited to experience all things human. And there is quite a range, and they have been preparing themselves as they lower their vibration to take in these experiences in this way. So it will be possible for them to ride a roller coaster. And we're speaking of this because the channel was joking that maybe it wouldn't be physically possible for an ET to have such a concrete experience. And this is not accurate. That the species who plan to come make first contact more in a global nature will have the availability to lower their vibration enough to be dense enough to function in your world as you do for the most part. And they look forward to experiences such as this. They also greatly look forward to sharing experiences from their world with you that can feel like a wonderful carnival ride without the fear. Now we know that the fear of the unknown in the roller coaster is part of the experience. And we would just like to point out that your earthly incarnation and the roller coaster are basically the same ride. That the roller coaster is a very accurate metaphor for a human lifespan. We know that we are a bit off track, but we wanted to point this out, how much humans love the roller coaster ride, even though they get afraid at certain parts and they don't know what's going to happen at certain parts. And then they feel secure and they raise their hands in excitement and scream for joy in certain parts. This is quite parallel to your lifetime. You are correct. It does not involve fear. It is a matter of slowing one's vibration. A fractal has consciously practiced slowing one's vibration, which allows the fractal to embody a more physical experience and stay resonant with that physical experience. So it does not have to do with emotion, but more of a vibration management process. As a being slows its vibration, it still wants to be resonant with all that it has at the higher vibration. It wants to remain to be aware, even though it has come into a more solid state, so to speak, and it has tapped into a different dimension. So it is a process of practice, and many E.T.s have been practicing this their entire lifetimes, so they can do this well. It can feel disorienting at first, and this is part of the practice. And as beings do this, it does not mean that they slow their vibration to the level of the humans around them. They just need to lower it enough to be able to be in your vibrational state, be resonant with your vibrational state as a collective on the planet. So it will be higher than the humans around interacting with the being, but lower than the being's natural vibrational state. This is intentional, so that what is carried in the E.T.s vibrational field can be shared with the humans that come into contact with it, just as humans share vibrational information, so to speak, with each other as they come into contact with each other. Because you are a collective, you are one, and so if one fragment has a valuable experience, all experiencers are valuable, but has an experience that would be valuable to the collective, and that is in the vibrational field that will be shared with many around that fractal, that human fractal. And they don't even need to be facing each other and talking. It can be just in the general vicinity. And this will be the case with the E.T.s who are more embodied on the planet. When you do have a global galactic contact, that their vibrational field will spread many miles beyond the being itself. And so we're circling back to the original question of what is this experience like for the E.T. And so this experience is pleasureful once when one has practiced this, so that they can remain aware of what they want to remain aware of while their vibration is slow. It is a feeling of wonderment because it is a different state. So just as you are in your vibration now, if you would drastically change your vibration, higher or lower, you would be in a state of wonderment. If you wanted to experience what a rock feels like, this would feel much different than what you feel like right now. But you could still be aware of what's happening and that you are a rock and your intentions and your sourceness. Or if you drastically raised your vibration and you weren't even a solid being, you could still be aware, but you would be in a complete state of wonderment because your perspective and your feeling of oneness would be quite different. The E.T.s are also sharing as a group that they will receive help from the flora and fauna on your planet to accomplish this task, because they plan to stay for a lengthy period of time. So this is different than an ET or ship manifesting into your dimension and then popping back out. This is not a full embodiment of that vibration. That is a manipulation of energy for your benefit. And so to stay in this state of embodiment, as we're talking about, they will be receiving help from the flora and fauna to maintain this vibration, to help orient, to communicate, and to keep their bearings about them, because again, it is quite disorienting, because this is not the state they are natural to. But we would say that's the extent of the negative experience, if you will. Disorientation would be the worst that they would feel. And of course, those that will be going to do this will be feeling a state of love and elation for the most part in doing this work. It is their greatest honor and their greatest joy. And it is what they have prepared themselves for over their lifetime. Yes, we would first like to clarify. So in one's lifetime of work toward this goal, it is not the bulk of practicing the vibration. This doesn't take particularly too long, yet it is practiced over and over in different scenarios so that one is adept at this process so that they can then focus on other things. So this is not quite what's taking a lifetime, but the preparation of learning about your species and your planet and you as a soul collective and your galaxy, and where you as a group, because you form a group, want to head. Where is it that your soul's desire and path lead? Because all of our work must be in alignment with these goals. We are in service to you, and we are part of you. And so it is this that is explored and learned and practiced over one's lifetime, so that one can be of the greatest service to you when it is time. And so a lot of this is just learning about your culture, learning about what it feels like from your perspective to be a human, learning about infinitesimal processes around vibration to be able to navigate on the planet as one will want to. It is quite technical and detailed, but we would summarize with, it is everything. It is your experience, your perspective, what's helpful to you, what's not helpful to you. How are we able to be empowering to you and help you be the greatest fragment in that incarnation that you seek to be, if this is your desire? We would like to correct a little bit of that language, because that we do not want to imply that You are on the planet and your job is to become a great fragment. That is actually not at all your goal. Your goal is to experience. So let us rephrase that to help you experience what you want to experience in your lifetime. That is our goal. So we must learn everything. We also learn from the animals now and the plants now. Mother Earth teaches us and guides us so much. We have learned much from her. Many humans on the planet came in aware of what would take place and that it would end in galactic union. The channel is one of these. There are many on the planet. And for most humans, a lot of this, including the channel in front of you, weave this knowing, weave this goal into a very personalized experience that also integrates all the other experiences they want to experience for them personally, whether that be experiences they've had as a child, young adult, and so on, how they've lived, where they've lived, why they've lived. So it is quite personal to them, and they may not always be aware that they are preparing for this galactic union. That might be in the back of their mind, so to speak, and they might be thinking, this is my personal work, this is what I'm doing because I feel compelled to do it. And so we're just pointing out that the boundary between having this goal of union and having the incarnational experience as a whole is quite blurred most of the time. Well, of course, the biggest unknown is the free will choice making of the human collective. That cannot be known because that is what you have crafted beautifully in your incarnational cycle, is the ability to choose regardless of your goals. And sometimes you choose in alignment with your goals, and sometimes you choose in ways that are not in alignment with your soul's path. And this is the flavor of the experience you crave to experience when you came into this incarnation cycle on the planet Earth. For those of you that are in that, there are a few who are having incarnations that are not fully embedded in the incarnation cycle, but we're speaking of most of the humans that are. And so there is an unknown there. Now, this is why we have spent so much time or energy deciphering the smallest aspects of vibration to understand this from your perspective so that we may be helpful. Because we are not in this experience of choice making in our incarnation, or those of us who are not in incarnation at all, not embodied at all. We are so much of the oneness that this is a big chasm to cross to understand your point of view. And so this is why we have been so deliberate and careful and respectful to all of the human species to come in a certain way, in a certain time, because we are clear that there is this unknown aspect of choice making. So for instance, we would not want to come thinking that our presence added to the empowerment that humans are feeling, only to discover that it feels scary, so scary, that humans make a choice that we are not expecting and we don't know how to respond to in our effort to be helpful to humans. The last thing we want to do is to set humans back in their vibration and lower it because of fear. And so we have worked carefully and meticulously to ensure that this does not happen, yet you are in a free will existence. And we are going to, at some point, join you and commune with you in this way. And even though we are having our own separate experience, we will become a part of you and join with you. So it becomes a part of our experience as well. And so we want to be as careful and deliberate as possible around this. Now, again, there is no way to articulate how detailed this type of investigation and planning goes. And it is vibrational work. It is not the type of planning that humans are used to. But nonetheless, it does require work and planning. Does this make sense?